Fox 6 News. First Alert Weather Extra starts now.
Well, a beautiful day out there. The dry weather did make that welcome return and certainly warmer for us. Temperatures in the 80s. It's been kind of interesting. You may have noticed not only for Alabama, but all across the region. If you're tuned in from Georgia, from Mississippi, Tennessee, you may have noticed a little bit of a haze out there. And that's because with that northerly flow that's been coming in across the region, we've had that cyclonic flow. We've been dealing with some of the wildfire smoke from Canada. Some of those plumes have gotten caught up in the mean flow and drifted across the region. So that's just added a bit to the haze, but also helps to really bring out some of those lovely colors there at sunset time. If you've been wondering or even noticed some of those lovely views this week, I know it was kind of rainy there earlier in the week, but some interesting things happening in the weather. Let's get to it here. Our First Alert weather headlines, and the next big thing, well, first off, we are going to have a nice night out there. Enjoy these breaks the AC gets, because that power bill is about to start, it's going to be impacted here next few weeks. We're going to be cranking up that AC. Isolated storms will be possible tomorrow, so we'll see that chance coming back. Not a lot. So most of the day we're going to be dry, areas to the north and east, but the forecast is kind of tricky over the weekend. We've got a disturbance that's over the region. In fact, we have a disturbance over us right now. We're not seeing a lot of cloud cover out of that, but there's another upper low that's back to the east of us, and that could become a tropical system, and it's a low chance. It may become subtropical, but the bottom line, it's going to bring some clouds. It could impact those rain chances. There's a few question marks in there that we're going to talk about, but what a day. 82 in Tuscaloosa, still a little toasty in some spots, but it won't take long for the temperatures to improve. Looks like we need some bug spray there around Centerville. You see that? 79 look like a big red wasp. Yeah, let's move on from that. Okay, 79 right now in Pell City, 80 in Anniston, 81 in Center. Warm in a lot of areas, bringing some more of those temperatures, but not a drop of rain here on radar right now. So we are still enjoying this dry weather for this evening. Let's talk about that disturbance. Notice only a 10% chance, but now so it begins, right? The first tropical outlook of the season for the Atlantic Basin. Hurricane season doesn't start until next week, but we're watching this system here off the coast of Florida, and you can see the swirl in there, the clouds with that. What's going to happen is we'll see some clouds move back in, and typically where you have this system and the mean flow back to the west, you get kind of an axis that sets up many times when these systems we're kind of wedged in between. It's kind of like a boundary, and that's where you can get some scattered shower and storm development. And the models are starting to pick up on that for areas to the north. Tomorrow we could see, if we do get some isolated storms, perhaps areas to the north, and then the same on Saturday and Sunday. We'll have to watch out for some of those scattered showers and storms. But we're going to talk more about weekend rain chances while we're on this map and talking about the tropical update. I want to bring in meteorologist Lauren Linehan, because today, Lauren, we got the big season outlook and forecast from NOAA.
Yeah, Wes, and today we are officially 1 week out from the start of Atlantic hurricane season, which runs from June 1st to November 30th. And so NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, has released their forecast, which is calling for a near normal hurricane season, a 40% chance of that. So what does that mean? Well, on average, during a typical year in the Atlantic Basin, you get 14 named storms, 7 hurricanes, and 3 major hurricanes. And major hurricanes are Category 3 or higher. So the Atlantic forecast shows that right now, the forecast is well within that range. So the potential for 12 to 17 named storms this year, 5 to 9 hurricanes, and 1 to 4 major hurricanes. But hey, we know, as we saw last year, the season was relatively quiet, but we did have one big storm, Hurricane Ian, which caused major issues in southwest Florida. So it only takes one storm to make an impact, right? But here's a look at this pie chart that does give us a better idea of these predictions from NOAA, where you see the yellow highlighted here. That's that 40% chance for an above or a near normal season, and then above normal season is where you see the red Blue is where you've got the potential for a below normal season. So those two are kind of neck and neck, but it looks like we're leaning towards more of a near normal season in the Atlantic basin. And one reason why that is because El Nino is beginning to take effect. So El Nino happens in the Pacific Ocean when you get above normal sea surface temperatures. And so when this sets up, it's called a teleconnection. And what that means, think about a telephone. One part of the world communicates to a different part of the world, and that's what happens here in the Atlantic basin. Even though this happens in the tropical Pacific Ocean, where you've got higher than average sea surface temperatures, in the Atlantic basin, you get what is known as more wind shear. Wind shear is just that difference in wind speed or direction as you go up in height in the atmosphere. And when there is more wind shear, tropical systems don't like that. They prefer winds to be more uniform because that allows tropical systems to stay together. So when you have a situation where these above average sea surface temperatures in the tropical Pacific help to create an environment in the Atlantic basin that creates more wind shear, that can lead to less tropical activity. Now, you can have things that can offset that, like warmer than average sea surface temperatures in the Atlantic, but we'll have to see how that plays out. But based on the fact that El Nino is taking place, that's why forecasters are leaning towards that more near normal season. And if we look at hurricane season running from June 1st to November 30th, this is showing when you see that peak of named storms, and that is in September, specifically September 10th. So we can still see storms in June and July, but it's especially as we get into August, September, even October. If you'll remember Hurricane Michael, one of the big ones, that can still happen in those months. So September the peak for sure. But let's look at during this time of the year as we approach June, 1 month out or 1 week out from that, where we would see that best development. And a lot of times the Northwest Caribbean Sea and the Gulf of Mexico is where you get that prime development earlier in the season. So oftentimes what we'll see early in the season are what we call those homegrown storms. So you could see them form, like Wes was talking about, that disturbance off the southeast coast. You can see them form here along the Atlantic coast from Georgia to the Carolinas and Florida into the Gulf of Mexico, just based on how hurricane climatology, the history of hurricanes have happened. And sometimes what happens is you get these fronts that come down from the north, and once they move into the Gulf, they can sometimes spin up a little low pressure system. So you can have some that form in the Western Gulf. Another favored track is Eastern Gulf systems, and they happen to get pulled to the north towards the Florida Peninsula. It's almost like if you're driving on a car and you happen to get your tire right on the side of the road and the friction causes you to go to the side. That's what happens a lot of times when you get these systems in the Eastern Atlantic. It's almost like that car, the tropical system, runs up on the Florida Peninsula and it gets pulled a little bit more to the north and east. Really interesting how you can see those systems transpire sometimes. But we haven't had a named storm yet this season. The first one will be Arlene, and these are the names we're looking at for the 2023 season. And again, NOAA is going with the forecasted 14 named storms, or that's the average, but we could see potentially 12 to 17. So that's an update. We are still a week out from hurricane season, but we all know Mother Nature does not give a care about where we are on the calendar. We have seen named systems well outside of that June 1st to November 30th range as well. So we'll see what happens. In the meantime, coming up here on Weather Extra, let's take a look at what is ahead in the show this evening. Of course, we're talking about the tropics, so Matt and Mickey had that beach forecast. Unfortunately, Florida has been dealing with, while we deal with potholes here in Birmingham, Florida's been dealing with some big old sinkholes. And hey, it's sea turtle nesting season as we approach the summer months, but also a little farther to the south, a volcano potentially showing some activity in Mexico. And then with summer just around the corner, could we see a warm up? We'll be right back.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome into Good Day, Alabama.
A new morning comes with preparing right, because while you slept, news broke.
We have new information from that breaking news that happened this morning.
While you head out, the storm we gave you the first alert for is on its way in. And as the key turns the ignition, your shorter route to work is being found.
Avoid 459 southbound completely because of a crash.
A new morning means everything you need for a good day is on Good Day Alabama, always on your side.
first alert traffic you need to get you there safe and on time. Tomorrow morning, everything you need for a good day is on Good Day Alabama.
You're late, out the door, and on the go. Don't worry.
Good Day Alabama continues all morning long.
And wherever you watch, this is what you need to know right now.
More reporters on the streets with more hours of news when you need it. Everything you need for a good day is on Good Day Alabama. Knowing first is everything. First Alert Weather.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. Meteorologist Lauren Linehan here. Memorial Day weekend is just around the corner. Some of you may already be getting a jump start on travel today. And one of the most popular destinations, the beach. Mickey and Matt have your beach forecast.
Hey, Mickey, Memorial Day weekend's coming up. A lot of people are probably having plans to go down to the beach.
Yes, and I wish I could go with them.
Same. Why? Because this weather looks fantastic.
Well, look at that business right there. We're looking at a lot of sunshine Saturday, Sunday, and Memorial Day Monday, and they have lower rain chances at the beach than we have here at home.
I like that. So if you want some sunshine, some comfortable temperatures,
Get some sun on your bun.
a few hours down and looking pretty good. By the way, though, we're looking at lots of sunshine, and that means a high UV index. In fact, it's very high at a 10 as we go into Friday, Saturday, into Sunday. What does that mean, though, Mickey?
Well, you just need to protect yourself. If you're not a sunscreen wearer, then, long sleeve shirt. I got one of those little shirts that the really thin ones, the polyester ones, you've seen them out there.
Yeah.
And a hat and sunglasses. It's a good idea because the worst thing is get to the beach and get sunburned the first day, and that just kind of ruins the next several days.
Yeah, you kind of want to stay inside after that and get that aloe. So just be careful out there. As usual, burn time within 15 to 30 minutes if exposed and you don't have that SPF 15 or greater. If you're going in the water, just want to give you an update on where those temperatures normally average for this time of the year. In May, it's normally 76, but notice by June, it's about 82. So I would say at this point it should be, what, around 80 degrees?
Yeah, so we're getting closer to that. Gulf water temperature at 80 degrees.
Oh, I guessed right.
So maybe just not the kids getting in the water. We can start to get our little tippy toes in there for the adults. Now, the rip current threat is low. They're still going to have yellow flags flying just for cautionary measures, but shouldn't be too bad as far as swimming.
That's right. And if you're out on the beach and you see a purple flag, for instance, that could mean some water, it could be like jellyfish, stuff like that. So just use caution. So just want to give you that first alert in case you see that. But here's a look at the future radar going into Friday. You know, it's showing maybe a hint of a rain chance to the east, but I think overall generally dry for Friday. Saturday looks nice, upper 70s, lower 80s. And check out Sunday, not too bad. Maybe a rain chance. We'll see what happens.
Maybe we need to add a 20% chance after all, huh?
Maybe. We'll see. But you get the idea. It's not going to be too bad. In fact, the Weather Prediction Center showing the estimated rainfall. The heavy rain looks to be to the east. Notice it along the Gulf Coast for the next 5 days. They're not really showing much in the way of measurable rainfall.
Yeah, we've got a low off to our east, and we stand to see a better chance of rain up here than you do at the Gulf Coast. The Gulf Coast forecast relatively dry this weekend if you do see a shower. I mean, it probably lasts all of 20, 30 minutes at best and shouldn't see any severe storms. But dry weather, you know, a lot of folks getting out of school, heading on down to the Gulf, and that's a good looking first week of summer like forecast for you.
That's not bad at all. So if you are going out and about, of course, download the WBRC First Alert Weather app, get forecast notifications, and we would love to see your graduation pics. If you're going out on vacation, got some beautiful sunrise, sunsets, send those photos in.
That sounds like a good idea right there, Matt Daniel.
And have a safe Memorial Day weekend.
Smile now.
Oh boy. Well, Memorial Day weekend will mark the unofficial start of summer, as Matt and Mickey said, a time many families spend at the pool or beach. But drowning is unfortunately a leading cause of death for children in the U.S. And today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more on how to keep kids safe in the water as the weather gets warmer.
It can happen in seconds. When a person's drowning, they're silent.
Every year, I wait for the phone call that we're going to have a drowning victim.
Pediatric emergency physician Dr. Sarah Lazarus has seen firsthand the dangers of water. She says many times child drownings happen while parents are at a party or gathering.
They think that someone else is going to be watching their child, and they lose eyes on them for a moment, and then the next thing they know, they're floating at the top of the water, or they see them on the side not breathing.
In the U.S., there are an estimated 4,000 fatal unintentional drownings every year. Anyone can drown, but children are at highest risk. It's the leading cause of death in kids ages 1 to 4 and the second leading cause of unintentional death in kids ages 5 to 14. But drownings are preventable. Keep kids younger than 6 within arm's reach around water. For older kids who can confidently swim 2 laps of a pool, make sure you keep an eye on them.
Because you're going to be more protective of your child than anyone else, it's really important that you realize you need to be aware of them. And you can't really trust on lifeguards or anyone else at a party to keep eyes on them because there's distractions everywhere.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
It's also critical that fences around home pools are secured and make sure there are no toys around a pool that may tempt a child to climb. Non-fatal drownings can also lead to other serious medical outcomes, including brain damage and long-term disability. Well, sea turtle nesting season is underway along Alabama beaches, and things are off to a great start with 13 confirmed nests so far. That puts 2023 on pace for a record year. Nesting season began May 1st and runs through the end of August. Remember, sea turtles are federally protected. Anyone caught tampering with a nest, even after it's hatched, could face up to a $1,000 fine and jail time. Oh, that is a $100,000 fine, Tania, so be mindful.
We know what you mean, Lauren. A store in Central Florida could be closed for weeks after a huge hole opened in its parking lot. It's about 30 feet wide and 20 feet deep. Liv Johnson reports on what might have caused it.
That is big.
It's a big hole.
Wow.
Virginia Hargarden is a regular customer of this vitamin shop in Ocala. However, on Wednesday, this 20-foot deep sinkhole stopped her from being able to pick up her vitamins.
And I feel sorry for the shop owners too.
Yeah.
To have to be closed.
So what caused the pavement to seemingly collapse? Well, Darren Parks from the Public Works Department says it all started with a rainstorm.
What it looks like is a drainage pipe had failed over time and washed the underlying soil away. The heavy rains from Friday night put a lot of weight in the pipe, which caused the pipe to collapse.
A sinkhole roughly the same size opened up in the Checkers parking lot right next door just a few years ago. The problem, Parks says, is old pipes.
Over time, things will wear and fail. They have a service life. Sometimes you'll get more service life than others. My guess is they'll be looking to make some changes over the next few years.
Park predicts the city will continue to see sinkholes as Florida receives heavy rainfall after a long dry period.
It's been a very dry year so far. When you get those heavy rains, sinkholes are common. It's not particularly in drainage retention areas. We've been dealing with this all week long.
Construction to fix the hole is expected to finish in mid-June.
And geologists say sinkholes can occur in nature too when groundwater causes rocks to limestone to dissolve. Well, meanwhile, in Mexico, a volcano is being monitored closely. There are reports of no eruptions from Mexico's Popocatépetl volcano. However, in the last 24 hours, the volcano was active. The Center for Disease Prevention of Mexico, CONEPRID, and the country's emergency services recorded and detected 10 exhalations, 2 eruptions, 1,066 minutes of tremors, and a volcano tectonic earthquake early this morning. There have been fewer updates from the authorities while the activity of the volcano has calmed down.
And Tania, say Popocatépetl 5 times fast. That was impressive. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
That's almost as tongue-tying for us English speakers to say as the Iceland volcano, which I'm not even going to bother than that. But we love weather around the world, so we can be exposed to more names from around the world. Anyway, coming up on First Alert Weather Extra, we check back in with Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt for a look at the 7-day forecast. And we've got some cute animal stories. We'll be right back.
West Shore Home is making shower and bath remodeling easy and more affordable for everyone. Hey everybody, I'm joined by Kirsten Page from West Shore to find out exactly how they're making that happen. Kirsten.
So Joe, we've been able to give homeowners, over 165,000 of them, the shower and bath of their dreams by making it a fast, easy, and convenient experience. But now we're making it even more affordable to start your project without breaking the bank.
Now Kirsten, when someone starts a remodeling project, costs can be a real concern. So how are you making it more affordable to start that project right now?
So instead of me telling you, why don't I show you? This homeowner was having some problems with their old shower. They called us, we stopped out, and we completely removed the old bathtub and replaced it with a walk-in shower in just one day. The best part? We can do a job like this for as low as $99 a month.
$99 a month, that's incredible.
It really is. We understand that budgets can be a little tighter this time of the year, so we want to make it easier for folks to get their projects started right now. So let's go ahead and look at another project we recently did. This homeowner was so excited to get rid of their old bathtub because they were getting an easy, low-step shower. You can see here we took out that old bathtub and removed everything down to the studs. Then we installed new walls and fixtures. By dinner time, this homeowner had their brand new shower, and the best part, they didn't need to worry about paying for their entire project up front. They were able to break it down into low monthly payments.
That project looks amazing, and the low monthly payments is going to make getting that project started so much easier. Kirsten, thanks so much. Folks, West Shore Home is making shower and bath remodeling fast and convenient, and you heard Kirsten, now they're making it more affordable too with their easy, low monthly payments. Call the number on your screen right now to start your project, and when you do, take advantage of this great offer. Call in now to get your new shower for as little as $99 a month. On top of that, they're doing free installation on all shower and bath projects. Don't delay. Call the experts at West Shore Home now.
Welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra, and we've had quite a few stories about the tropics and what's been happening there. We have a tropical, well, it's an upper low, but it may become a tropical system that's over the Atlantic that we're watching. But I just want to show you across Alabama, you can see plenty of cloud breaks, but if you look at the clouds, we have a lot of motion going on here. There's still some unsettled or an unsettled pattern that's across the region. We just have some drier conditions at the moment, but you can see this system that seems like it's trying to develop into a subtropical or hybrid type tropical low off the east coast here. A lot of rain spreading in, and you can see the cloud pattern here is kind of spreading back in towards the Carolinas, and some of these clouds are going to wrap back in towards Alabama over the weekend. That's why we went a little bit lower on those high temperatures for Saturday and into Sunday. We're still going to kind of have this flow out of the northeast around this system, but if you are heading down to the Gulf Coast, that won't have an impact on your beach plans. Not expecting a tropical storm or anything like that to impact Destin to Dauphin Island, Panama City. In fact, there's an offshore flow right now, so a mostly clear sky. Should be some fantastic weather for sitting on the beach and enjoying the sunset. I'm jealous, wish I was there. Get to enjoy some nice weather for this evening. Okay, 7-day forecast. Friday, tomorrow, 20% chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms. So we're going to see those pop-ups coming back. The data is really favoring areas to the north. This is starting first off tonight. Walk you through some of the high resolution data. And again, if you have plans this evening, very nice conditions. 10 o'clock, nice evening to crack open the window, let some of that fresh air in with that northeast breeze. You can see tomorrow 6 a.m. some 50s will be out there for overnight lows. We're going to have lows in the 50s, but doesn't last long. We'll see a quick warm up in the morning. We'll be back to near 80 by lunchtime tomorrow, but that's 11:30 in the morning. You can see still dry. Afternoon, stop it right here at 6:30, and between that last 11:30 view I showed you and this, you can see not a lot of wet weather out there. So most of the areas, most of the day is trending a little bit drier with the exception to the north in here. Notice data's picking up on that, and sometimes the models don't do a good job handling when you have a system like what we're tracking back to the east. So we'll need to watch it just in case we get some more clouds and a couple of isolated pop-ups there. I think the main timing for that, if we see anything from about 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock in the evening, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. p.m., the main window for tomorrow. Same sort of setup on Saturday, but still kind of a tricky forecast. And I just want to point out some of the data. You see how we have this low that's out here, and what you can get with something like this, you end up with disturbance to the east, and then between that and the mean flow that's back to the west, you can get what we call more of like a deformation kind of zone that sets up in here, kind of like an axis of unsettled weather. And that's something we got to watch out for Saturday and into Sunday. Notice this model shows quite a bit of scattered development, even back in the Mississippi there by 5 o'clock on Saturday. So there's going to be a chance for some scattered showers and storms. We'll have to watch it for this weekend. There's Sunday. This is even showing, look at that Sunday morning. This one model's picking up on a little pop-up right there. So we'll have to watch it. I think afternoon's going to be our greatest chance, but at the least you can see these clouds that will be spreading in over the weekend. So that's why, again, we went a little bit lower on those temperatures, but where we do get more sunshine, there's a pretty good chance we're going to have highs closer to 80 degrees. Memorial Day still looks like we're going to have plenty of dry periods. Here's the thing, if you have a trip planned to the lake, out to the pool over the weekend, spend some time with friends and family, don't cancel your plans. Just know that if we do have any rain, a brief delay is certainly possible there over the weekend. And even though we're not expecting a lot of rainfall, any storms that develop, I just want to stress that some of those storms could produce some intense lightning, maybe even some small hail. So if we have a storm alert that does pop up, don't be surprised there, not only through Memorial Day, but if we see anything, we're getting into that typical summer pattern. One of the next big things next week, Thursday, look at that. First alert, hot, 88 degrees, so enjoy this in here. Enjoy these temperatures with these overnight lows in the 50s, especially because the 90s will be coming back. As we go to meteorologist Lauren Linehan. Lauren, I think I'm enjoying these 50s. I'll take what we can get, right?
Yeah, Wes, we will certainly enjoy this lower humidity while we can. We know it ain't gonna last though. But if you do plan on doing anything fun this weekend, hey, maybe you're headed up to Wisconsin. The Milwaukee County Zoo in Wisconsin welcomed a newborn camel calf, and it's a girl. It says she's healthy, weighing about 88 pounds at her first neonatal exam. She's bonding well with her mom, AJ, and is getting to know her father, Stan, through a mesh fence. The two adults have 3 male offspring, but this is their first girl. The zoo says visitors might be able to see the family's newest addition in person, depending on weather and other factors. And we told you last month the sea lions at the Birmingham Zoo are going to a new home. Now we know when you can say goodbye to them. A sea lion send-off will be this Saturday from 10 to 3 on the Henley lawn at the zoo. Sea lion demonstrations are scheduled from 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Farley and Geo are moving to the New England Aquarium in Boston. At the send-off, you'll learn more about what it takes to move them to their new home with other marine life. Well, we hate to see them go, but we're so happy they're going to be in a better place. Sounds like it's going to be a better environment for them, but I don't know. Today and I may have to plan a trip up to Boston to go and see them. But let's take one final look at that forecast before we send you out into the evening. There we go. So we did mention just a chance of a few showers and storms possible over Memorial Day weekend. Certainly not looking like a washout. I think generally the weather pattern for us looking favorable. Now, if you were going to go to the beach in the Carolinas or Georgia, North Florida, maybe not so much. And when I say North Florida, I mean the Atlantic coast. The Gulf, not looking too shabby. Now, once we get into next week, we take a switch from these kind of near average, below average temperatures to cranking up the heat again, which is fitting because June is just around the corner. Check back in with Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt tonight on First at 9 for an update on your forecast. And you can join us back here on Weather Extra every weeknight at 6:30. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. Have a safe and happy Thursday evening.